Hi, folks. This is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report. Well, I'll tell you what, I've got something really interesting. I think a lot of you pan fishermen will be interested in hearing. I was talking to my buddy Dave, who lives down on Cayuga Lake now. He always lived up here, and he's been a tremendous help in helping me promote the fishing here, not only through the radio, but by replaying it on Up North NY, but also by helping us with our economic impact studies and everything we're trying to do to use this fishing movement that we have to help our area. But anyway, I called him and I said, and he said to me, let me tell you about the fishing I did this weekend. Now, Dave lives right on the shore of Cayuga Lake, and Cayuga is a new mecca in New York State. It's a new buzzword. A lot of people talk of Cayuga like the ultimate fishing spot. It isn't. We live in the ultimate fishing spot, but Cayuga plays a really close second place. But anyway, I know we're not there, but his method of fishing is really interesting. He said that over the weekend they went out to fish perch, he and his friend, and they ended up catching, he said we caught, this is in one afternoon, we caught 6 crappies fishing for perch out in the middle of the lake that were over 11 and a half inches long. Now, crappies have to be 10 inches long to keep. So these were really big crappie. And the way that he caught them and the positioning he caught them is I think it's so interesting for us to realize. You know, a lot of times we don't think of really good crappie fish in the middle of one of the Finger Lakes out there, you know, way away from shore. And I said, how deep were you fishing, Dave? And he said, we caught them in 20 feet of water, and we could see that there were weeds on the bottom that we felt came up about 18 inches. So we tried to keep our baits above that 18 inches. And the crappies were right mixed in with the perch. The schools of each species of fish were feeding together down there, obviously on a certain size minnow. And this was so interesting to me that they were able to catch these great big crappies fishing for perch out there. And it was really a bonanza. You could say maybe the perch were a bonus or maybe the crappie were a bonus, depending on what your ultimate goal was. But in most people's cases, it's catching perch. And when we fish for panfish, I believe most people fish for them to keep them and eat them. Now, you got to keep them big enough to keep and make sure it's worth all the trouble it's going to take to clean them, that you got enough meat left. But I said to Dave, which do you like the flavor best of? First of all, I asked him, I said, have you got around to, are you going to be eating these fish? He said, we already ate them last night. And I says, well, what do you think of the taste of the crappies? He says, I like them as well as I do perch. And that's saying quite a bit, because most people think perch are about the best freshwater fish you can eat. But anyway, he said that his wife, Marie, sort of agreed with him, but their daughter said one of the bits of crappie that she ate, obviously it was probably a filleted side, tasted way different than other ones she ate. She says it must have depended on what they were eating. And a lot of times I think we lose sight of this. The fish that we want to eat, we got to think about what kind of water do they come out of? Is the water clean? Is it something that we don't have to worry about eating something that was in really contaminated water? And what else was there about that water? In other words, if fish are in the weeds, they're kind of going to take on the flavor or the odor of the weeds. And I found this in a lot of places that I've fished. And the other thing is, things are what they eat. They taste like what they eat. I think of when we used to duck hunt, and the fact that mallards or teal or wood duck, they tasted wonderful. But a lot of the other ducks that eat fish taste really fishy. These animals, birds, whatever, taste like what they eat. It's important for us to remember that. And it made me think about fishing the Grass River. You know, I recently caught a beautiful walleye. I mean, this fish was one of the biggest ones I've caught in a long time. And I debated, do I take that home and do we eat it? And I'm thinking, that there's pasture land all around me, and I'm just not sure what that would be. But I think it's something we all should think about. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report.